welcome to NPTEL Power System Protection course. In this module on lecture 18, we will go with the distance laying, and on the lecture we will have the introduction to distance laying. This lecture covers transmission line protection concept, distance relay, how it is based on the impedance relay, that we will see, different characteristics of the distance relay, and how the zone protection philosophy is applied for transmission network. We will cover that part. Now, let us come to before going to the details on distance laying, we will classify different transmission lines in terms of protection. We have learned in basics of power system how transmission lines can be categorized, but in protections we have a different philosophy. Let us consider a system like this, and we are concerned with the protection of the MN line section. Behind this there is an equivalent source which is feeding to this line, maybe transformer, generator and combination of transmission line and so. So, this is an equivalent system which provides us an impedance of ZS, and the concerned transmission line is having an impedance of ZL. Now, we define a term called source to line impedance ratio, SIR, source to line impedance ratio. So, it is a ratio of impedance unitless, that equals to ZS by ZL, where ZS is the source behind this, we can call it Thevenin's equivalent, and the ZL corresponds to the line impedance. In that case, in the protection perspective, we classify transmission line into short line, medium line and long line. When the SIR becomes higher than 4, that is categorized as short line, that implies that the ZS value is more than 4 times the ZL, very unusual. Medium lines 0.5 to 4 SIR values lies between this, and long line the SIR happens to be less than half. So, that implies that in this case, when it happens to be a long line, this impedance becomes much more than the source side impedance, but in a short line few kilometers, the line impedance may be lower, may be much lower also than the source impedance, as in the equivalent system we see in the single line diagram. For example, let us the line parameters for a 132 kV 50 hertz system having like this 60 kilometer long, and it has a positive sequence impedance of 32.3 ohm. This is given. We create a 3-phase fault at bus N, and the relay data provides that the voltage at this point, bus voltage, phase voltage 42.1 kV, and the associated current becomes 1136 ampere. In that case, how will find the SIR for the system? So, this is what we are trying to figure out, what is the corresponding SIR of the line, and then in which category the line belongs to out of these 3. This is important from protection perspective. In the later lectures, we will see this relevance of this on the which protection schemes can be good at in which categories of these lines. So, we see here one thing, that before the fault, let us say the line was not loaded. So, we expect that the corresponding bus voltage will be usual voltage, and that is 132 kV line to line. So, phase voltage will be 132 by root 3. Now, in case of a fault, the voltage 3 phase fault here, balance fault. So, only positive sequence will go on. So, in that case this V f at this point will be nothing but the corresponding line impedance drop here to the line. So, therefore, I z s I f z s equals to V p minus V f. So, that gives you can say that a scope that to find out the z s value from this perspective. The other way we say that before the fault this bus was having a voltage of 132 kV line to line. Now, following you can say that the corresponding bus voltage here happens to be 42.1 kV phase voltage, that is what recorded by the relay. So, therefore, we say that the Z s becomes equals to 132 by root 3 minus 42.1 V pre minus V f divided by this current I f, and that gives us 30.02 ohm. So, that is what the Z s as seen by the corresponding relay, the source side impedance as observed by the relay will be 32.02, but the impedance of the line as given is 32.3. So, this becomes 32.3. So, the value of SIR Z s by Z l becomes 0.929, and in the PCDs category this belongs to a medium line category, and that is what we classify the different lines from protection perspective. Protection schemes for transmission lines involves current differential. So, we can have a CT here, set of CTs, and then we have a difference of current, we will see more on that later on. Phase comparison, signal this side and signal this side, phase information of current and so can be compared using the communication system, and so distance relay we will talk about that, which we just voltage and current at the local bus only. Overcurrent relay we have already talked about that in details. So, that can be also applied to the transmission line. We will see later on what is the limitation of overcurrent relay. Communication assisted different protection schemes and so. So, in overall we will see here that some are unit protection, some are non-unit protection, some relays or principles schemes use communication system. When it happens to be communication system, there is associated cost. Longer a line, longer will be communication protection channel, and associated cost will be more. So, therefore, we see you can say that all the varieties of relays in different transmission line protection. Moreover, in case of communication failure, the local information based relays become essential, and therefore, we can have both unit protection supplemented by non-unit protection schemes for transmission line. Going to the different protection schemes available for transmission line, we see straightforward you can go that how overcurrent principles can be applied, as you have learned earlier. That can be suitably applied if the network is small, but generally transmission system networks are very big. That is one challenge, how to have the coordination for overcurrent relaying, that becomes a problem. Besides, see what happens in a network, we will see from one by one what is the limitation of overcurrent relay, why this overcurrent relay cannot be applied in generic to transmission system, we will see. However, to be noted is that overcurrent relay supplements some of the aspects of transmission systems, and they are being incorporated, but not for in generic with in a coordinated manner. See the system here. So, we have two connections for this bus. So, that is why these two lines are feeding to this bus, and this we see that it is connected to a line with certain impedance, and we have a relay R 1 here, and we are creating a fault F 1 which is beyond this line. So, this leads to a 3 phase fault F 1, let us say. This leads to 115 10 to the power 3 voltage divided by root 3, and the impedance becomes, because this is parallel, if you take the Thevenin's equivalent, that becomes equals to 10 ohm source impedance 5 plus 4. So, this gives us 7380 ampere external fault. So, this is overcurrent relay, let us say. Now, suppose at any operating condition, one of the line is out and only this, first you can say that line is feeding to this bus. Then in that case, if you take this fault F 2 at this point, which is internal to this line beyond this relay. So, this I F 2 becomes equals to 150 into 10 to the power 3 divided by root 3 and the corresponding impedance 10 for the 3 phase fault at F 2, that leads to 6640 ampere. So, you see that the corresponding current between a current beyond the line at this configuration is somewhat higher than the fault adjacent to the relay. That is very unusual what we have till now seen. So, now therefore, the relay R1 setting will be must be greater than 7380, because the fault is beyond the line. So, for this section it has to take care primary, backup, whatever inclusive. So, therefore, let us say for this case it should have greater than 7380 ampere. But you see that this setting, as we have learned from the overcurrent principle, it should be greater than maximum load current and it should below the minimum fault current level. Therefore, the relay current has to be that it should be greater than 7380 ampere. Let us say this is the end of the zone, and but from this figure we say that this is adjacent to the relay and it should be less than 6640 ampere. So, this is contradictory. So, therefore, overcurrent relay principle cannot be applied in such a scenario. So, this is either we are talking about a generation capacity reductions, increment and so, or in terms of the configuration of the system, parallel lines or multiple lines connected to a feeder or so. Now, if we think about a nation or any unions, then and also the land becomes very vast, then we will find many long transmission line in the system. So, this is a picture of connected transmission line in India map. So, you can see different, you can say that voltage levels started from 1200 kV, 765, 400 kV, HVDC links and all these things. So, this connectivity shows that the network is massively interconnected, and in this kind of scenario the coordination becomes next to impossible between different lines connected this fashion, and that you can say that the overcurrent relaying principle is not that suitable for mesh transmission system for such a scenario. Furthermore, if the fault current and the load currents are comparable, then overcurrent relay finds limitation. So, from these different limitations we find that overcurrent relay is not that suitable for transmission line protections, which is having massively connected as shown in this map. Now, come to now that distance relay, what is it, how does it so useful, so common in network transmission network protection and so. So, before going to that we will go with the basics. Now, say we already mentioned that distance relay is based on impedance, and this we know that the transmission line R, L, they are proportional to the length of the line. So, we have per kilometer R or L, which gives the series impedance of the line R plus j omega L. So, this impedance, series impedance of the line is proportional to the length of the line. So, that means that if we are able to find the impedance, that implies we are relating to the physical distance in terms of kilometer or meter. Now, let us consider this simple system where you have bus n. So, we are concerned with this line now and a fault happens to be there at this point. So, relay at this bus is concerned about for the protection of this line and the measurement point is here. So, what we see that what the distance relay does is that this response to positive sequence impedance between the relay location and the fault. So, based on the voltage and current available at this point, it tries to find out, rather finds out the positive sequence impedance from the relay point to the fault point and then compares with a set value. That you can say that then it says that whether the corresponding fault is inside the line or beyond the line and makes a decision accordingly. So, therefore, using the voltage and current information, the distance relay finds the impedance, positive sequence impedance up to the fault point and then makes a decision whether that fault is inside the line or beyond the line. Furthermore, because this impedance is proportional to the distance, so it relates to this physical distance of the line also or up to the fault point. This such a relay uses only local voltage and current data. So, we call it non-unit protection and that is the strength also. Now, coming more on to this. So, this relay if we because it uses impedance which is which you can show in the complex R x plane. So, R real axis resistance of the resistance in ohms and x in the imaginary axis the reactance part in ohms. So, this line refers to the impedance of this line, the positive sequence impedance of the line. So, we know you can say that something like 80-85 degree the line impedance. So, this angle shows about the impedance of the line and then this you can say that comes to this. Now, what we say here we call setting up in relay which the relay compares and that setting is called the reach point of the relay. So, in terms of physical distance we can theoretically say that M n is the section of concern. So, this M n has a positive sequence impedance. So, therefore, you can say that we can say that based on this you can say that for this relay we can set an impedance and that is called considered reach point or the reach of the relay for the decision making process by the distance relay. So, whenever an internal fault happens to be there, that fault point may fall on this R x plane on this one. So, the relay finds the corresponding fault here. So, it is less than the set value. So, within the reach of the relay. So, therefore, the relay can take a decision on trip. Now, in furthering our discussion on distance relay, let us say system having like this. So, as already mentioned, the distance relay takes current signal and the voltage signal from the CTs and PTs or CVTs, capacitor voltage transformer or coupling capacitor voltage transformer as mentioned in high voltage system. Such transformers are being used. Now, this line and a fault happens to be there here. So, the relay is to make a decision on the protection. The impedance calculated by the relay also called seen impedance or apparent impedance. So, we put two terms here, seen impedance by the distance relay or the apparent impedance by the relay is the impedance calculated by the relay to make a decision whether it is within the reach or beyond the reach. So, this so called positive sequence impedance calculation by this relay, otherwise called the seen impedance or the apparent impedance up to the fault point, is obtained by a proper voltage and current ratio in a selective way. Now, the seen impedance by the relay, because the relay uses the CT signal and the PT signal at the secondary side. So, if the calculation of the relay is based on the secondary signals of these sensors. So, Z secondary, if you are using all the voltages and the corresponding current information as used by the relay, then the corresponding impedance seen by the relay as per the secondary side information. So, V secondary divided by I secondary, but V secondary is V primary divided by the PT ratio and I primary is divided by the I primary by CT ratio is the I secondary. So, this leads to V primary by I primary, CT ratio by PT ratio. So, Z primary, CT ratio by PT ratio. So, we see from this that the this impedance, secondary impedance seen by the relay is related to this primary or the network side impedance in actual into the this ratio CT ratio by PT ratio. Now, let us have an example, small example how these are related. Let us say this is a 132 kV system and a PT of 132 by 110 volt. So, different countries adopt different PT ratio 110, 120 and so. This 110 volt again goes to the numerical relay. Numerical relay cannot take directly that level of voltage. So, it scales down further inside it to a suitable level of 10 volt or so. Now, this ratio 132 by 110 is the PT ratio. The PT converts the scales down the voltage to such a level. CT ratio, let us say consider for this application is 600:1. So, 1 ampere CT or 5 ampere CT as per the availability. So, CT ratio by PT ratio here like this, CT ratio by PT ratio is 600 divided by 1200 for this one. So, this gives a 2.5. So, that means that the Z secondary will be equals to 0.5 Z primary. So, Z primary corresponds to the system level of impedance, actual impedance, what will be seen by the during the fault, the fault lobe impedance. So, into divided by 2 will be Z secondary in such a scenario. So, if the relay calculates everything, because relay the numerical relay platform. So, if it calculates everything Z primary, then it has to get that you can say that the whatever Z secondary it has obtained divided by 0.5 means twice of the Z secondary. So, in general you can conclude that to get the corresponding system side impedance, whatever Z secondary is obtained to the calculation by the relay should be multiplied by this PT ratio by CT ratio for that. If most of the testing kits they use the secondary signal in general. So, therefore, you can say that in that kind of thing this if a relay is being considered set in terms of Z secondary, then the corresponding multiplying factor here must be taken care. However, numerical relay does not have such problem, it can accommodate Z primary directly. Next, we will go to different characteristics of this numerical relay. So, we have already seen that we can put the apparent impedance of the distance relay in Rx complex plane, and the relay can calculate the apparent impedance, and then based on the apparent impedance it can take a decision. On this Rx plane, the distance relay uses different characteristics, tree boundaries. So, we will see few of them here. So, see here you can say that the first one is called the impedance characteristics. So, whatever you can say that setting n ZL, or you can say that this ZL for the line impedance, whatever percentage of line or whatever comes into picture 100%, 80%, 90% or though whatever we like to put with a relay, distance relay. So, that setting, so a circle from the origin. So, this is the impedance we are concerned about. Now, however, when you talk about a fault in the forward direction, then we will see that only this upper half is of required. So, in this kind of characteristic we require a directional relay. So, that directional relay you can say that this will be the only trip region. If you are looking at the reverse directions, then you can see this direction also. So, this portion will be the trip region in the forward direction and beyond it is block region. So, relay takes a decision for this case is that if the corresponding apparent impedance calculated by the relay comes here, settles here, then we say that it is inside the trip region, the relay will take a decision. Similarly, for the reactance relay, the Jx value is set here, only reactance, it does not bother about the what is the resistance concerned there. So, therefore, below this line anywhere you can say that the corresponding x value calculated by the relay falls here, means it is trip decision, and beyond this is block or no trip decision. Mho or admittance form, as the name suggests here, this impedance relay is a circle going through origin. So, that has numerous advantages also, many relays use this kind of characteristics, we will see later on more details on this. So, if such a characteristics it is called the Mho or admittance relay, anything, any impedance during the calculated by this relay, seen impedance or apparent impedance calculated by the relay, if it falls within these characteristics, it is a trip decision. How the corresponding trip decision is obtained by the relay, we will see later on. The other one is a quadrilateral characteristics. So, if we see these quadrilateral characteristics, as the name suggested, there are 4 boundaries here R and Jx, and then whenever a fault, this is the trip region, whenever a fault happens to be there, this will be inside and the relay will take a decision. The lenticular characteristics is similarity with, you can say that Mho, but here you can say that the lengths, the curvatures are being used, and that has also certain usage in different applications, particularly for long heavily loaded lines, this may be advantageous and so. So, we see this varieties of characteristics for the distance relay, the characteristics which are required for protection decision, and a distance relay may use any of the characteristics, combination of the characteristics or multiple characteristics in a numerical relay to make a correct decision during a fault. If the apparent impedance calculated by the relay falls within the characteristics, the relay takes a trip decision, otherwise remains silent. Now, what happens here, if we think about this load impedance versus the short circuit or the fault impedance during the fault, in normal operations the relay sees the impedance of the load, the impedance of the line in front of it, and that is much higher. Typically, it will be resistive if the load impedance is the load is in generally you can say that close to the unity power factor for a transmission line. So, it will fall in this area during the corresponding operating point, normal operating point, far away from the characteristics. But whenever a fault happens to be there, then the corresponding impedance become much smaller, and then it goes inside the characteristics, and the relay distinguishes the fault situation from the normal load situation and makes a correct trip decision. Now, going further, the concepts of zones comes into picture. We have already defined zones in initial lectures, the area which the relay takes care for the protection decision. So, in distance relay we have several zones of protection which takes care the primary protection as well as a backup protection of the remote buzzer. So, first zone or called zone 1 is less than the full line impedance. The setting for the first zone, this R m, we are talking about the distance relay R m which has different zones of protection. What are those? We like to see here. First zone or zone 1 is less than the point-sequence impedance of this line, while as no, this should take the purpose of this relay is to take care this M n, that is the primary function, primary objective. But in zone 1 we fix it less. Zone 1 is instantaneous, no delay. If the relay finds from the voltage and current phasors, computes the corresponding apparent impedance and finds the corresponding distance or the impedance to be less than this set impedance, then the relay takes a decision. In the process of this decision process, the relay takes the signals from the sensors. There may be error in the sensors from their transient response and so, including their ratio. The pre-fault current, as you have seen earlier also, pre-fault current may be significant and that modulates the fault component of current. So, these two combinedly will be observed by the relay. So, that also may be there may be an effect of that. The fault impedance, if the impedance, if the fault happens to be associated with an impedance, arc resistance and so, then also the corresponding seen impedance or calculated impedance by the relay will be a different one. So, there are other associated errors. Accounting all these errors and the so called uncertainties, we say that we will not allow the corresponding relay in zone 1 which is instantaneous to take trip decision for the full length of line, because if we allow that, if fault happens to be beyond the line also, this relay may take a decision which is not desirable, because load here and load here may not be served in that situation. So, therefore, what is being done, that we leave some of this section which is because of this uncertainty of this different instrumentation and so. So, that is the reason that the zone 1 setting is less than the full line impedance, point-sequence impedance. Now, if something is left out, then the protection has to cover that. So, therefore, we talk about a second zone mentioned as zone 2 is set to protect the remainder of the line, but to ensure that the zone 2 nothing is left out, this zone is extended beyond this line, and because this is extended, so therefore, this is having a slower response. It is having a slower response unlike zone 1. There is another setting, third zone, zone 3, that takes care the corresponding remote, takes care the as a backup protection for the remote bus relay in case of station failure. Like think about the situation we have already enumerated in case of overcurrent relay also. If this breaker fails, then a fault in this line will continue. So, therefore, in the upstream this side, this breaker must take care of that. So, therefore, this relay has to read that situation, and as a backup to this you can say that perspective, this relay should operate, and that is the reason zone 3 takes care of that. Not only breaker failure, the relay may also fail, the connection between relay and breaker may also fail, and so. So, therefore, we observe from this in basics we require zone 1 to take care this protection of Mn, instantaneous protection, but because of uncertainty we do not allow this relay to reach up to n. Some percentage is left out to take care that zone 2 is assigned, but zone 2 ensures that the whole section is covered. So, we extend that region and therefore, that is becomes a slower one, and then zone 3 we say to take care the backup for the next line section, the breaker, the substation failure and so as a backup. So, these three are very commonly being used in transmission line protections, 3 zones of protection of transmission line. These zones of protections are called step protection. Why step protection? If you see this one, same Mn and Np section let us we are considering, and we are bothering about only relay at here. In this diagram, we are showing only the relay Rm located here. That Rm has 3 zones as you have already enumerated, first zone, second zone up to this and the third zone. Third zone is as backup, second zone you can say that takes care of this section, primary protection, first zone primary protection. Now, we will see here that this first zone covers up to 90%, this one covers rest of the portion. To ensure that no fault is left out from here, we extend this reach of this zone 2. Any fault in NP section also must be taken care by the Rm relay as a backup. So, therefore, we extend the corresponding zone 3 at least up to P to ensure that no fault is left out. We extend it to furthermore 20% more than the corresponding M to P sections. Okay. So, this is what we see from this, that we have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Zone 1 let us say up to 90% of the line from Rm end, zone 2 is 120 to 150% to ensure that nothing is left out from here. Note that in books you will find also that some of the faults of consider this portion is also taken care by this, but here consider another another set of consider relay circuit breakers will be available. So, that relay has a primary objective to protect this line section, that again will be instantaneous. So, the corresponding zone 2 of this must operate, because that will also see this fault here, must operate after the primary at n operates for a fault here. So, therefore, the zone 2 is slower, and that is the reason this is instantaneous. We delay the corresponding zone 2 operation typically by few cycles, time of 0.25 to 0.4 second and so. Now, say faults in this section will be taken care by either zone 1 or zone 2. If the fault happens to be here, the relay at Rn will be taken care at zone 2. So, therefore, the zone 3 at Rm, the zone 3 at M was the corresponding Rm. This is what we have drawn, that zone 3 should act after zone 2 of Rn will act. So, zone 2 of Rn will be a similar time step curve. So, therefore, we say that the zone 3 should be further delayed, and typically that is around 0.6 to 1 second kind of thing, as high as 50 cycles for 50 Hz system or 60 Hz system, 60 cycles also. So, we say that the relay distance relay at Rm will have 3 steps relay characteristics. First is zone 1 say up to 90%, zone 2 say up to 120 to 150% of this line section Mn, and zone 3 M to P. So, more than 120% of MP section from here, and that leads to complete, you can say that 3 step protection for Rm. Similar step protection will be available at N and P and so. So, this is what zones of protection, step protections. Note that this axis is time axis. So, we have time here, these are the more and more time for zone 3 as compared to zone 2 and zone 1. This time is circuit breaker opening time, relay decision time. So, typical this time is less than 5 cycles or so. Relay decision time is typically 1 cycle and so. Now, we see that in numerical distance relay, typical curves that is being used, set of curves that is being used, we have more relay, more characteristics here, and this is quadrilateral characteristics already we have enumerated. So, zone 1 say 90% of the line. So, this is zone 1, zone 2 120% of the line, this is zone 2, and then we have zone 3 extended beyond the next line is zone 3. So, this is zone 3. So, however, in addition to these 3 zones, modern relays they provide zone 4, zone 5 and so to provide backup functions applications furthermore. Now, we will go to how we can set zones, we will see examples. So, zone settings. Let us we have a 3 lines connected like this. We have Mn section, Ns section and Np sections. 3 sections are there. The positive impedance of each line is provided here. This is a longer line, a shorter line and longer line. Relay RMN is to be protected for you can say that these sections. So, what we will do here that zone 1 setting for RMN is say we are going for 85%, as I mentioned it can be 0.8 to 0.9 80% to 90%. So, here let us say we are having a setting of zone 1 85%. So, 85 means 0.85 into 5 plus j 32. So, that gives you 4 plus 2 5 4.25 plus j 27.2. So, this is the reach of the relay RMN in zone 1. Now, zone 2 is 120% of this line. So, 1.2 5 plus j 32 1.2 to 1.5. So, we have considered here 1.2. So, the setting should be reach of zone 2 will be 6 plus j 38.4 ohm. Next you can say that we will concern about zone 3. So, the zone 3 vigilance for the RMN will be taking care of this line and line connecting in the next bus. But you see here the one is shorter line, the other is longer line. So, if we cover longer line, the shorter line automatically comes under that. So, therefore, we say that we have to consider Mn and Np. So, automatically Ns is inclusive of that. So, therefore, we consider longer line as our target. So, 5 plus j 32 plus 6 plus j 50 that is what M to P, and this you can say that 1.2 times, that it is ensured that this both the sections are taken care. So, that all faults here also are being taken care by this relay RMN. So, I multiply with 1.2 or so. These are not fixed, these are flexible depending upon the situations, and then that gives you can say that a setting of 13.2 plus j 98.4 ohm for zone through settings. Time coordinations, suppose for zone 3 you say a delay of 0.3 second per 50 hour system, this is 15 cycles. Why take this zone 3 coordination time coordination of 15 cycles? We have already discussed in overcurrent also that the other relay at this must clear in the zone 2, breaker opening, relay decision, calculations and all perspective we can say that are being taken care. So, therefore, we can say that we talk about few cycle leaving few cycles for that perspective. So, this is similar to the what we have studied in for the overcurrent coordination also. Zone 3 is further delay. So, here it is set at 1 second. So, this is what we learn that how to have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 settings, including the time step you can say that distance delay principle for different lines. A question comes, you can say that if zone 2 reaches beyond far end of NS. Now, suppose you can say that we have flexibility of zone 2 setting 120 times, 150 times of the Mn. If we take 150 times also, we can say that you can say that may cover from here to beyond this also. Then what? Then there is problem. So, in case one of the remote line is too short, and then you can say that that if the NS becomes too smaller. Now, smaller means smaller if the NS section is like you can say that the corresponding impedance is 6 plus j 32 8.4 minus 5 plus j 32. This is you can say that 120 times minus this line. So, that you can say that the rest is 1 plus j 6.4. If the corresponding this impedance becomes smaller than this, then the corresponding relay zone 2 you can say that relay will reach you can say that beyond zone 2 characteristic will be beyond this. Then what will happen sections beyond this, for that also the corresponding you can say that fault will be seen by this. So, before the corresponding zone 2 of this zone 2 of the beyond S operates, this may also operate. So, that will have a conflict of interest, and for that you can say that this is not allowed. So, a solution what will be that the zone 2 must be shorter to make such that it does not overreach the zone 1 of NS. So, we say that the zone 1 of NS is not being considered that overcome. If we can say that zone 2 of we can say that NS, a fault happens to be here, this relay also will see and this relay will also see. So, it will go for a protection decision, and that is you can say that is unwanted, and that is you can say that. So, what is being done that in this case we can take you can say that the shortest line 50% of that plus this line impedance. So, that may be a guidelining factor for this one. In case of zone 3, we take the longest line. In case of zone 2, we can take the shortest line 50% of that for avoiding you can say that such protection issues of zone 2 of here and zone 2 of here. Thank you.